Welcome to the League of Nerds comic book segment number 182. I'm John Cooney here to talk to you about comics released the 15th of July 2015, beginning as usual with my first five, meaning these are the first five books I intend to read this week, and I'll give you a little more depth on them, starting with at number 1, Invincible number 121. Things have gotten worse on Earth. Skybound Entertainment recently announced that Invincible would reboot with issue number 124. In this new direction for Invincible, Mark suddenly finds himself without powers, back home, but aware of everything he's lived through. What does he change? Who can he save? And how will he deal with his father now that he knows what's coming? At number 2, we have Hawkeye number 22, Hawkeye vs. Tracksuits, Final Round. The long-delayed conclusion of Fraction and Aha's series is finally here. Series writer Matt Fraction described the finale, quote, "Our last two issues are the resolution of the story about the Battle of the Building. The first one is called Rio Bravo and the last one is called El Dorado. It's the final showdown with the gangsters and this grease-painted psychopath that has been picking apart at Team Hawkeye like a sick child tearing the wings off a fly. Also, number 22, our last issue is going to be 30 pages. We'll have an extra big finish," close quote. He went on to clarify, quote, "If you've seen the movies Rio Bravo and El Dorado, you'll get what we're talking about. Rio Bravo is a movie where a cadre of good guys is holed up in a building fighting against a bunch of bad guys," close quote. At number 3, we have Justice League number 42. The epic Darkseid War event storyline continues with the critically acclaimed team of Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok. As Darkseid and the Anti-Monitor maneuver towards inevitable war, Wonder Woman leads the Justice League against a force that holds the answers on how to stop it, but the price might be Batman's soul. Meanwhile, Mr. Miracle faces off against a mysterious hero who has been fighting in the shadows for decades. Series writer Jeff Johns spoke about his use of Mr. Miracle, quote, "The reason it's Scott is because if you look at what Darkseid wants, he wants his will imposed over everything. If there's one thing that keeps slipping through his fingers, one soul, one person that keeps escaping his grasp, he's going to notice that, and it's going to ultimately become an annoyance to him. And if that one thing starts to affect other things, it's going to be a problem. So if Scott is someone who embodies free will, he's all about escape, that's his whole thing. He is the ultimate protagonist against the antagonist of Darkseid," close quote. At number 4, we have Guardians of Knowhere number 1. A single moon orbits Battleworld, but no, that's no moon. It's a space station. It's Knowhere, the head of a dead celestial somehow saved in the universal collapse, a colony brimming with convicts and criminals. The galaxy may be gone, but that doesn't mean there aren't places that still need heroes, places that need champions, that need guardians. Series writer Brian Michael Bendis shared the setup for the book, quote, "We're going to open on a mystery in Knowhere. And that mystery is going to open up a lot of stuff, including a new villain. Characters a lot of people have been asking for will show up, and by the end of the series, you're going to see a status quo change that I think people are going to be very excited about," close quote. He went on to explain the impact of Secret Wars, quote, "It's very scary. What will the Marvel Universe be when this is all done? The best series that are being done during this, and all the ones that I'm attempting, are going to bring something into the Marvel Universe that wasn't there before, and this one will absolutely be doing that. There will be a fundamental change in the Guardians coming out of Secret Wars that I think is going to lead to a nice conversation for people to have afterwards. And by people, I mean some people. Some people are going to want to kill me, but other people will be very excited about it. There will be a role change that I think people are going to be surprised by," close quote. Number 5, we have Siege number 1. They can't ever win. They can't afford to lose. The shield is the only thing that protects the more civilized areas of Battleworld from the zombie hordes, death machines, and annihilation waves. Anyone who annoys Doom gets sent to the shield. Anyone who gets sent to the shield deals with Abigail Brand. Miss America, Lady Catherine, Kang the Conqueror, Leah Shieldman, the Endless Summers Company, Leonardo da Vinci, and a cast of thousands will fight to the death to keep Battleworld safe. But don't worry, Kieran Gillen is writing this book, so I'm sure everything will end happily for everyone. Imagine Next Wave as a tragedy, says Kieran, if anyone asks him about it. Series writer Kieran Gillen described Siege as the Night Watch from the Game of Thrones if they recruited from the Marvel Universe, saying, quote, "The Shield's purpose is to stop everything that's south of that point going north of that point. It's because everything south of the Shield is entirely ungovernable. They don't pay taxes, they jaywalk, they want to eat you. Being deposited on the Shield is a punishment for a mixture of people who are entirely too battle-hungry or entirely too heroic. It's deliberately a Sisyphean task for reasons I can't really get into yet." Close quote. Rounding out the top 10 at number 6, we have Book of Death, number 1 of 4. A coward dies 1,000 times before his death, but the valiant taste of death but once. The Valiant Heroes, Exo Manowar, Bloodshot, Ninjak, the Harbinger Renegades, Unity. This is how they lived. This is how they died. Now we know. The Book of the Geomancers recorded it all, but only a young girl, the last in a line of enigmatic mystics who protect the earth known as Geomancers, has seen this future come to pass, from the coming cataclysm to the dawn of the 41st century. Alone with her sworn protector, the Eternal Warrior, a soldier battle-forged across 5,000 years of combat, the duo must defy their allies to stop the Dark Age that now threatens to eclipse our world. Together they are the #1 target of every hero and villain on Earth. Either the Eternal Warrior hands her over, or they take him down. But can even he single-handedly protect one child when the entire Valiant universe wages war against him? The blockbuster Valiant event of 2015 starts here as New York Times best-selling writer Robert Venditti joins superstar-in-the-making Robert Gill and visionary artist Doug Braithwaite to begin a 1,000-year journey into the future of the Valiant universe and rain, fire, blood, and war on the heroes of today. At number 7, we have Years of Future Past. Number 3, Secret Wars series. Gouged up from its sanctuary, the mutant's last defender clashes with sentinels above the ruins of New York City. Kate Pryde and her family take refuge in a Coney Island madhouse and find dark revelations at last. At number 8, we have Ant-Man Annual #1, just in time for the Ant-Man movie. Funny that. It's a team-up you've been waiting for. Scott Lang and Hank Pym together again. Ant Bros. A classic villain makes his dreaded return, and a new hero is born. Well, not born really, he's already an adult. Nobody wants to read about a super baby. Or do they? At number 9, we have Astro City #25. It's an honor guard spotlight with guest artist Jesus Moreno. Blessed from birth by powerful forces, Hummingbird's young life has practically been a fairy tale. But charmed lives come with hidden curses, and her curse may just prove fatal. Luckily, she's not fighting it alone. Guest starring Cleopatra, Star Woman, Mermaid, Grey Malkin, and the other women of Honor Guard. And at number 10, we have Superman Wonder Woman #19. The Superman epic you never expected, Truth, continues. Is there truth in madness? Harley Quinn and the Suicide Squad guest star. For the best the rest from DC Comics, we have Black Canary #2. In the wake of their first major fight, Dinah realized how her new bandmates are completely unprepared to keep themselves alive in a scrap, so it's time for a training montage. Cue the squealing guitars. Plus, who is Bo Maven, and why does she hate Black Canary so much? Next, we have Doom #2. The secret origin of our doomed hero is revealed, plus tons of stuff gets smashed. We've also got Dr. Fate #2. The new Dr. Fate is already having trouble controlling the power of Naboo, and time is of the essence because he's about to be tested by an ancient evil. Next, we have Martian Manhunter #2. It's the Man of Steel versus the Martian Manhunter as Superman demands to know what John Jones knew about the Martian's terrible plans for Earth. We've also got Robin, son of Batman #2. The power and legacy of the Al Ghuls reaches far and wide, but wait until you meet their greatest rivals. Enter the Dragon's Head. And we have Secret 6 #4. How did 6 deadly assassins end up in suburbia? Still being hunted, Big Shot decides that Gotham City is too hot for them, so he decides they need to lie low in the land of picket fences and freshly cut lawns. What could go wrong? From Marvel Comics, we've got Armor Wars #3, Secret Wars series, Who Killed Spider-Man? Jim Rhodes' investigation of the murder of one of Technopolis' few superheroes takes an unexpected and dangerous turn. What kind of ramifications will the plans and machinations of Arno Stark and the Kingpin have on Baron Tony Stark? As Kiri fights through her grief by continuing her work on new armored creations, we see how they may change the face of Technopolis, and beyond, forever. Next, we have Captain Britain and the Mighty Defenders #1 of 2. Welcome to Battleworld, where, in what's left of Mondo City 1, Boss Cage is the law. When the fascist Futuropolis annexes neighboring Yinsen City, who'll stand up for Ho Yinsen's dream of universal peace? If you like the Mighty Avengers, you'll love the Mighty Defenders. We've also got Hail Hydra #1, Peace through strength, honor through obedience, continuance through conformity. Hail Hydra, immortal Hydra, we shall never be destroyed. Cut off one limb and 2 shall take its place. We serve none but the Master, as the world shall soon serve us. It's a beautiful utopia that Hydra has created, but when a lone figure from outside the regime appears, could his very presence be enough to bring the perfect society to its ruin? Next, we have Planet Hulk #3, Secret Wars series. Will the deadly land of Hulks finally break gladiator Steve Rogers? Can Steve Rogers rescue Bucky before the Red King sentences him to death? Can even the powerful Doc Green protect Steve and Devil Dinosaur as the trio take a perilous shortcut to Mud Kingdom? Vast cemeteries, a valley of skulls and bones, tribal soldiers, and deadly spears that can pierce any hide. This book may be too dangerous to read. We've also got Secret Wars Battleworld number 3 of 4, One versus Many. What happens when a Wolverine who's found peace is confronted with wave after wave of feral Wolverine? Bring a poncho. The Deadpool of 1872 is looking for a new ride. Say, Devil Dinosaur looks like a mighty fine steed. See the tremendously tiny tussle of the Ant-Men of Battleworld. If you only read one Secret Wars anthology, make it this one. If you read 2, buy 2 copies. Secret Wars Journal won't love you like we do. We've also got Silver Surfer number 13, The Last Days, the death of everything that ever was or will be. Time ran out and the Marvel Universe died. From the edge of Battleworld to the outskirts of all infinity, every planet, moon, and star has been expunged. Every life force has been extinguished. There are no survivors except the Surfer, Dawn, and Toomey. How did they pull this off? And more importantly, can they figure out a way to bring everything back? If you care about the fate and future of the cosmic corners of the Marvel Universe, you cannot miss this comic. And we've got Where Monsters Dwell number 3 of 5. Carl Kaufman, the Phantom Eagle, finds himself prisoner of a tribe of beautiful Amazon warriors. His dreams of such situations always involve less pain and solitude. Live and learn. From Valiant Entertainment, we have Book of Death Legends of Geomancer number 1 of 4, a special Book of Death retailer incentive, the true history and lineage of the Geomancers revealed here in an all-new series of never-before-seen stories from New York Times bestselling writer Fred Van Lint and artist Juan Jose Rip that won't be collected for the trade paperback. Out of the pages of Book of Death, the genesis of the very first Geomancer and the sacred pact that swore them to the service of the earth can finally be told. But with it, too, the source of the divine mysteries that have haunted their line for centuries. Has their mission redeemed or corrupted the world that followed in their wake? And will the ultimate secrets of the Geomancer's book doom us all in the end? And we've got Dead Drop number 3 of 4. Alice Cott and Adam Gorham continue the sleeper hit of 2015 with a whirlwind race against time to save the Valiant universe. A city on the edge, alien biotechnology on the loose. We have 30 minutes to save the world, and our only hope are Betamax and Neville Alcott. Sorry, world, we may be screwed on this one. Out in trades this week, we have All New X-Men Volume 7, the Utopians hardcover premiere edition. The time-tossed All New X-Men are more than teammates, more than best friends. They've become a close-knit family. But the mysterious Black Vortex may sunder their family ties permanently. As the young mutants venture back into space to deal with the galaxy in chaos, they must decipher the Vortex's secrets, and fast, because the villainous Mr. Knife has kidnapped some of their team. Beast and Kitty travel to Spartex to study the Vortex book as Storm formulates a plan to break into Mr. Knife's fortress. But will the Vortex's cosmic power transform the young mutants into something unrecognizable? Meanwhile, back on Earth, the Utopians hold a secret that will change the future of mutant kind. But who are the Utopians? The all-new X-Men may regret finding out. Collects All New X-Men number 37 through 41. And we have Batman Second Chances trade paperback, a classic story from Batman number 402, 403, 408 through 416, and annual number 11 is collected. When Batman goes into action on his own and meets a young hoodlum named Jason Todd, he's determined to guide Jason away from a life of crime. These 1988 stories set the stage for the best-selling Batman: A Death in the Family. Okay, so that's just a few of my favorite books out this week. There's still plenty of others available, and I broke out all the Marvel titles this week in their own video, as well as a separate video for all of DC, and even a video with the top independent publishers, and you can find them all on my YouTube channel at he'sgotissues.com. And we'll also have links up on the leagueofnerds.com, our Facebook page, so be sure to like us there too. And of course, you can follow everything I'm reading on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find links to everything in the About section at he'sgotissues.com. And a reminder that both He's Got Issues and the League of Nerds are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.